We often speak about on this channel about securing a second citizenship or multiple citizenships for you and your family or your extended family. But nowadays we see the trend where more and more businessmen and entrepreneurs are willing to secure citizenship for their employees. And in today's video, we're going to discuss some of the benefits of obtaining citizenship or multiple citizenship for your employees and some of the ways you can do that. Hi, I'm Jovana, Director of Business Development here at Nomad Capitalist, where we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and their families achieve financial freedom, reduce their taxes legally, search for a better lifestyle, obtain multiple residence and passports, and generally go where they are treated better. With the start of Russian and Ukrainian conflict, many businesses have saw the importance of their employees having multiple citizenship. So what happened when the conflict started is that many Western companies had their employees in either Russia or Ukraine who were at that moment were not able to leave those countries on their passports or obviously because of war, and thus almost in some cases the whole functioning of one Western company was jeopardized. That was a big motivator for many business owners and entrepreneurs to start considering obtaining a second citizenship for their employees or basically motivating them to pursue a second citizenship. So there are multiple ways in which you can do that. One is definitely citizenship by descent. In case you know that some of your employees do have ancestors from another country, you can definitely motivate them, or I know many cases in which employees were providing the funds for their employees to pursue that citizenship. Obviously, one of the options is citizenship by investment. One of Caribbean islands will allow you that for at least $100,000, your employee gets a second passport. Obviously, this is more expensive option and definitely not option for everyone, but in some exceptional cases, if you do have some of key employees that might not be able to travel when you need them or might not be able to work from other countries, this might be an option. So we saw again multiple businesses opting even for citizenship by investments for their employees. It's usually employees in higher management positions because they need those to be able to travel because of business, but it does not mean that it is the only option. We actually recently had a client of us who basically purchased the citizenship by investment for 20 of his employees and their families, just so that they are able to travel together with him, which is a nice gest, but again, it is not mandatory due to price point. And one of probably the best options, if the first two are not possible, is allowing them to naturalize in some other country, whether you will provide them work permits to arrive in a country where your business is set up, or providing them necessary confirmations and contracts for them to work from another country in which a naturalization is relatively simple and fast. That definitely can be of a big benefit from you. Obviously, many people who do want to facilitate a second citizenship for their employees might impose certain rules and regulations in terms of how long they will need to work and what are kind of mandatory things with that. So that's obviously on company by company to discover, but there are many options where your employees can obtain second citizenship, again, from cases of a couple of months, like citizenship by investment, to way more affordable citizenship by descent, which is really a matter of a couple months in some cases, like 1 to 2 years, or naturalization down the road in many countries is available for people who do work from there. So what are the benefits? Why would you do that? Again, at the very beginning, I gave this example where a lot of businesses have found themselves in a very uncomfortable situation where their employees were either not able to work or not able to receive funds. So if you are concerned about those things, and you would definitely like to prevent, and maybe you have employees that are very valuable to you in some of the areas that are frequently under dispute, a second citizenship for them that will allow them to leave a country, or at least second residence, definitely might be a good option. The second reason is access to banking, right? Not everyone has access to good banking, and in some of the cases, from the moment you start transferring money to them until they receive it, it will go through multiple banks, multiple funds will be lost, and it might go through a lot of scrutiny. You as a business owner might even face some issues while you're sending money to certain countries. A lot of questions about that. Easier access to banking might be achieved even with residence. Obviously, that is, citizenship might not play a big role as a residence in this one. So it might be additional motivator why you want your employees to have multiple residence. Obviously, taxes are a big play in that one. It is more connected to residence and place where they live. So if you, obviously depending on what is the structure of your agreement with your employees, you might be paying, or they might be paying, a large chunk of their income on taxes. So in those cases, you might want to provide them support required to move them to a tax-free place, or a place with lower taxes that might give them, again, citizenship down the road. The following reason is making sure that you do not trigger permanent establishment rules in some countries. So what are the permanent establishment rules? Basically, if your company is incorporated, let's say, in a low tax jurisdiction, such as UAE, but a chunk of your employees, and especially employees that are key in your process, that are making decisions, are located in some other place that does respect permanent establishment rules, your company, your UAE company, might be taxed there. This can really easily be a case, especially if you have employees in US. The big no is anyone from C-suite, as well as salespeople in the US are something that can really easily trigger those permanent establishment rules. In US, it is called ETBUS, but in other parts of the world, it's commonly referred as permanent establishment rules. So if big part of your key employees, like key for the business and revenue generating employees, are located in one place, you really have to be very considerate about that situation and making sure that your company does not trigger permanent establishment rules in those places. That is what you might want to consider relocating your employees to a more tax favorable place, providing them residence that obviously can down the road result in citizenship. And one of the big thing is just a general mobility, meaning that especially if you do have key employees that are coming from countries that do not have very strong passports, that can be an issue not only for them but for your whole business. If your revenue is generated based on, road shows or people being on events and promoting a company in that way, having a good passport for people that are supposed to do that job is very important. Again, you don't want your key employees to spend so much time filing for visas, not being sure whether or not they can get it even, or what if happens some last minute rejections. So that is always very problematic and can drastically impact your business. So you might want to consider, as we said, providing or motivating your employees to pursue some of citizenship option for that purpose, because in this case, not only they will be able to travel freely on a very short notice, either, as I said, for some events, meeting with clients. At Nomad Capitalist, we actually saw what a big impact that can have on a business environment and just pursuing clients. From the very beginning, we have been motivating and helping our employees to pursue a second citizenship, either through naturalization and in most cases through citizenship by descent. So a lot of our employees do have a second passport that allows them a greater visa-free traveling freedom, and obviously it did have a big impact on a business itself, and enthusiasm and loyalty that we receive from our team members. So if this is something that is currently out of your concern, or if you do want to provide a second citizenship or second residence benefits as an additional perk to your employees and improve your business that way, you can visit nomadcapitalist.com and click apply button, where our team will help you identify which options might be best for them.